high above the valleys, where the air grows thin and the horizon dissolves into blinding fields of snow and jagged rock, the First World War assumed a form unlike any other. Along the Alpine front, Italian and Austro-Hungarian soldiers were not only fighting each other, but struggling daily against cold, altitude, and the constant threat of sudden death from the mountains themselves. Beyond official reports, a more intimate and unsettling truth survives in the secret diaries these men kept, fragile testimonies written in isolation, fear, and stubborn resilience. These diaries were never meant to become history. They were private refuges, written in stolen moments, often with trembling hands. One Italian Alpino noted, "The cold has entered me. It sits in my chest and does not leave. I write to feel that something in me is still warm." In these words there is no glory, only the need to affirm one's existence. Writing became a way to resist disappearance, both physical and emotional. Life at extreme altitude distorted time and perception. Days blurred together in endless white silence, broken only by artillery or the cracking thunder of avalanches. A soldier stationed on the Adamalo front wrote, "We wait without knowing for what. The hours do not pass, they freeze with us." This sense of suspended time appears frequently, as if the war on the peaks existed outside the normal flow of life. Nature was not a backdrop, but an active, merciless force. Another entry reads, "Last night the snow took 3 of us. No enemy, no shot, only the mountain reclaiming what it had allowed." The absence of violence in such deaths made them even more haunting. Men vanished not in battle, but in silence. Yet among these harsh conditions, a strange awareness of the enemy emerged. Across narrow ridges and frozen valleys, soldiers could sometimes hear each other. An Austro-Hungarian diary records, "They cough like we do. They curse the cold like we do. It is difficult to hate a voice that suffers the same wind." In these rare reflections, the enemy becomes less an abstract threat and more a mirror. Homesickness, however, remained the most constant companion. The memory of ordinary life grew sharper in contrast to the emptiness around them. One soldier wrote, "I try to see my home clearly, but the more I try, the more it fades. I fear I will return and not recognize it, or worse, that it will not recognize me." This fear of losing oneself was as real as any physical danger. Death was omnipresent, but often quiet, almost unnoticed. A brief note found in a recovered notebook states, "We buried him in snow, no cross, no name. Tomorrow it will be as if he was never here." Such lines reveal the fragile boundary between existence and oblivion in that environment. And still, moments of beauty persisted, almost painfully so. One diary reads, "At dawn, the clouds opened beneath us. For a moment, there was no war, only light. I did not know whether to be grateful or afraid of such peace." These glimpses did not offer escape, but they reminded the soldiers of a world beyond suffering. In the end, these diaries are not accounts of strategy or victory, but of endurance. Many were never delivered, never read by those they were meant for. Some were found decades later, preserved by ice, carrying voices that refused to vanish. Through them, we do not just learn about the war in the mountains, we feel its silence, its weight, and the fragile persistence of those who lived it.